us, the big star, would be the real American voices.
Jesus!
All right, yes. Lost his line there.
That's okay.
A very big thank you to Ed Henry and Karyn Turk and Terrance Bates on America's Sunrise. Watch America's Sunrise.
Good morning, Patriots. Welcome to This American Sunrise, live in West Palm Beach, Florida. I almost lost my voice.
Good morning. It sounds like you're excited this morning.
I am, very.
And live in our Denver, Colorado studios, not quite as excited as Ed, but still excited. So good to see each and every one of you.
What?
Ed and Karyn, good morning.
How can you not be excited? Sunburn! Can you believe what happened in this Delaware courtroom? I mean, maybe, and by the way, a lot of our viewers are writing on social media saying, don't buy the hype. You know, Garland and Biden are going to get Hunter out of this somehow. Maybe. But I will say this judge has got guts and said, I'm not buying this. And now Hunter's got to go to trial.
My favorite moment has to be the get a job portion. That has to be my favorite moment.
The conditions.
Yeah.
He can't drink, he can't use drugs, and oh, by the way, go get a job. Who tells the President of the United States' son, go get a job? Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
You know, we were talking about this before the show, and I was saying that I was shocked kind of at how all of this went down. And of course, I was watching it minute by minute. And just some of the highlights. Let's not forget that Hunter Biden admitted when being questioned by the judge, she asked him directly, did you know you didn't pay your taxes? And he said, yes, Your Honor, I knew. So, like, that's an admission. Even though he's come back now and said, okay, yeah, I'm not guilty of these charges, he made an admission in court that he knew he hadn't paid his taxes. I believe that's huge, and that might end up coming back to bite him in the behind.
And he was already ready to plead guilty to not paying his taxes as part of the plea deal, right? I know you can try to undo these things, but go ahead.
Well, I guess now, he can get a job, and they can garnish his check and garnish his wages, so they can pay the back taxes.
Where is he going to work? What is he going to do? There is a Starbucks right by the White House.
There's an art studio being set up somewhere near the White House where he's probably going to be working.
I'm so upset with the judge. Does she not recognize that he's a great artist? He does have a job, doesn't he? He's an artist. He's an artiste.
An artiste.
Wow.
There you go.
All right, we're going to get to Hunter. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We got a lot more on that. But Karyn, I just want to celebrate your big day. I saw our friend Joe Piscopo on social media this morning, and it is National New Jersey Day. So how will you celebrate? Will you threaten to punch someone, or what do New Jersey people do?
You know, it's funny that you say that because that could be one of the things on the list. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this because there's so many wonderful things about Jersey. Can I get back to you in the second hour?
Get back to me.
Go down the shore.
Yeah,
you got to go down the shore.
Well, she's got to work tomorrow, but...
Yeah, I would love to go down the shore. But going to the beach here isn't going down the shore. It's not the same.
A little hot at the beach.
You can't really recreate the experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Happy National New Jersey Day. In the meantime, our friend George Kalel, we talk about him all the time. You probably wonder, well, because he's a patriot. Look at this. He sent me this early this morning. He was with Ashley Babbitt's mom, Mickey, last night. We certainly honor her memory, and Ashley is such a brave fighter. And George said that he told her that on the show, we've already donated the first down payment to Fight with Cash from the Justice for All song. She was very happy about that. It's going to J6 families. And then guess what? They played the song, and then they all sang the Star Spangled Banner. Watch. And the hope of the brave. USA! 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 Anyway, just a great way to get this day going. So many Patriots coming together.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. And we've talked with Mickey in the past, and she is continuing to keep her daughter's spirit and her daughter's memory alive.
Absolutely. Did you see, I'm sure you did, the scary moment with Senator Mitch McConnell? I mean, obviously he's vaxxed and boosted. We don't know if that's part of it. He fell a few months back and was out of work for a while, hit his head. Some doctors were not doctors. Some doctors were saying that it looked like he had a stroke, at the least a seizure. This was really scary. Let's watch and we'll talk about it.
Cooperation and a string of
Wait a minute. Are you good? Mitch.
Okay, Mitch.
He's checking.
Anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Go back.
Go ahead, John.
I'll take it. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
Hard to watch, as Karyn was saying as we looked at it. He came out later and said, "I'm fine."
Yeah, and these things happen. With aging people, things happen. It's just unfortunate. It's hard to watch.
But Terrance, we've got, I think he's 81, Biden's 80.
80,
You know, Pelosi, who's still running around, not a leader, but still showing leadership among the Democrats, if you call it that, in her 80s, and saying Biden is a young guy compared to her. These are the people making these decisions and spending billions of dollars, our money, over to Ukraine, but I want to get your thoughts.
No, that is my thought right there. The first thing that came to my mind wasn't even about necessarily the fact that he is vaxxed, but the age. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And if this was maybe the result of his advanced age and the toll of the various injuries that he recently had. And of course, it brings to mind the fact that we've got a president who's 80 years old and who we've seen undergo similar moments, not quite as dramatic maybe as what we just witnessed there. But there have been similar moments where it seems like there's a lapse in memory. There's a lapse in kind of putting all the thoughts together. And so one has to, I think, question, and I think it's a real and fair question about the age of some of these lawmakers who, as you said, are making critical decisions for this country.
Yeah, there used to be, some sort of competency in the job of president of the United States.
And
Where's
Senate
that,
leader as well, which is important.
all of these leaders.
So Terrance may be aging, but he's looking great, and a lot of people are standing up for him, including Big Slim, because of what Terrance has been doing this week. Look at this. All right, American Sunrise family, time to step up. Terrance has spoken. Green is in. Let's show our support for Big Sexy by wearing green this week and post a picture. And I think he and his lovely bride did that.
I love that.
They're in Ohio.
Oh, that's amazing.
From Big Slim to Big Sexy, we were all going green. And I have to admit, guys, I pulled this tie out and I had to go deep into the closet to find it. I probably haven't worn this tie in years. Like, seriously, I haven't worn this tie in years. So I did find it. So we're on day 3. I just got 2 more days to go to kind of fulfill my commitment. I think I can do it.
I'm glad you haven't worn it in years.
Are you wise? Oh, I should.
No, I'm just kidding.
Are you saying I should have left it in the closet? Is that
no, but are you out of ties now then? If you had to go deep for that one, what's the next one?
It's going to be tough. I'm not going to even lie. Like, I had to go deep. So it might be a pocket square tomorrow with something to match. I'm going to work it out, though. I'm going to work it out. I promise.
Well, we might have a surprise for you tomorrow. So in the meantime, live from Cedar Key, let's look at this. Real American Voices weighing in. This is absolutely beautiful. I don't know where Cedar Key is.
That is beautiful.
I'll have to look that up. And this is from Western New York. Good morning, Patriot, says Just Gail. Here we are through the haze of the Canadian smoke. That's still happening.
Oh, wow.
All right. How about a word salad? Look at that. That's beautiful. And compared to that, let's get a word salad from our vice president. Watch.
I see America as being a place where we are going to continue, all of us, to believe in all that is possible and work toward it.
All that is possible. How about that? She has something else.
Really, we just need to believe. Just believe.
Just believe. You know what I believe? I believe Hunter Biden is in deep trouble. Let's get back to what we started with. Just the News. Make sure you're checking out justthenews.com. Our buddy John Solomon. Judge rejects deal in Hunter Biden case as first son pleads not guilty. So now he's expected to go to trial. And guys, behind all of this is the notion that people in the courtroom say that it appears that Joe Biden's Justice Department was trying to pull a fast one on the judge and everyone, which she smoked out, obviously, by trying to kind of slide in there something we didn't know in the days leading, that there was going to be immunity. Not just that he was getting off the hook on the tax and gun stuff and slap on the wrist, but that it was going to be sort of like a global immunity deal. Like, if you didn't, register the right paperwork for foreign lobbying, no big deal. You took bribes, no big deal. They were trying to slide in that this was it.
This is a blanket.
And now it's not.
Incredible.
And so not only is he in trouble potentially here, Karyn, But where does all this go?
It opens it all up. The Pandora's box is open.
Terrance?
And if you remember, there was the initial plea agreement, and then the judge obviously raised questions about it. And so the defense and the prosecution went back and worked out this second deal, if you will, that would have only affected like taxes from 2014 to say 2019. And they tried to slide in that gun charge as well. But we're saying that it wouldn't actually give him immunity in any future prosecution. So a couple of key things. There is more investigation going on into Hunter Biden, which is a good thing. If there's a win, it's a good thing that we know that the Justice Department is still investigating. And what will come of that investigation? Okay, you can be critical of that, you can be suspect of it, but at least they are continuing to investigate. And then the second thing is that we now also know, if in fact charges are brought, that he wouldn't have been under that second plea agreement covered in that. So this really kind of opens Pandora's box, if you will, and it really gives the Justice Department a blank canvas to really work within as it relates to Hunter Biden and potential charges.
Hang on a second. Justice Department has a blank canvas? Is that a joke about Hunter's art?
Actually, it wasn't.
We should go after that.
That is pretty good. I wasn't even thinking of that, but that is pretty good. Nice catch. That I should have claimed that.
Karyn, in all seriousness, yeah, we have some fun with it. But we did the story yesterday, I think, about this Democrat donor who paid like $1.3 million for this ridiculous art and then gets appointed by the president to a board, a presidential board, and gets access, visits the White House a dozen times. There's a lot of corruption that was under that rug, and I think the judge just picked it up. So you mentioned this a moment ago, and rightly so. The conditions now moving forward from the judge. He can't have alcohol, can't have drugs, but also has to get a job. That's what you said, Karyn.
That's great.
And if we'll put it up, if he consumes alcohol or drugs, including marijuana. Now, remember, Hunter was in an apartment with his lawyer.
I don't know if he's going to be able to hang out with this lawyer. Better be open air opportunity when he sees him.
Right, and the guy had a bong and was smoking marijuana openly, and it was caught on camera. If Hunter engages in any of that, he will be arrested and prosecuted for contempt of court. Now, again, I get the skepticism. Will he really? But they're saying he's a career addict, and this judge is finally maybe holding him accountable.
And he has lawyers that are smoking weed on balconies. I mean, this is incredible.
Here's the document, by the way. This is from a federal judge in Delaware. And I will say, Terrance, I think it's a good thing for Hunter. The only good out of this is that it appears the Secret Service is still covering for him after that White House, I'll say, investigation in quotes into that cocaine. Here from the Babylon Bee, Secret Service says 8 ball of cocaine found in courtroom chair that Hunter was sitting in, probably left by a tour group. So there might have been tourists, Karyn and Terrance, visiting the courtroom. I mean, that's a reasonable explanation.
Happens all the time.
It's hilarious. And the fact that they use the word 8 ball, I think that's hilarious in and of itself.
Well, you know all the slang.
And that is slang. That is, I listen to rap music, and so I've heard that a time or two. And I think there's a rapper named 8 Ball. So, yeah, exactly. You absolutely.
There's a rapper named 8 Ball.
There is a rapper named 8 Ball. MJG and 8 Ball and MJ. Yeah. Long story. Okay, I went down a quick rap rabbit hole.
You know what, Karyn?
There we go. Isn't there a rabbit hole? There is.
Time for a rabbit hole with Karyn. Here we go. All right, Karyn, yesterday was the big day, the House hearing. We teed it up on Monday. NBC News has a story at a House hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena. Former Air Force Intel Officer David Grush said, quote, non-human biologics came with some alleged craft recoveries of these aliens. Rep. Nancy Mace from South Carolina asked him if we have the bodies of the pilot who pilot this craft. Quick soundbite, and then we'll let Karyn react. Watch.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
In a skiff, which is a secret room.
Yes.
So I wish we had a Karyn cam, because during that she kept looking at me saying, Karyn was right. So
yes, where's my stinger?
We'll
my
do that.
stinger?
We'll get to that. But so was this enough for you? Does this
This
prove?
is a lot.
So what does it show?
It definitely shows that something's going on that we can't explain. That's number one. I mean, and this is a whole other level. I mean, non-human biologics, they even went into talking about multi-dimensions. This was nuts yesterday. It was great.
Terrance, a lot of people, though, were saying, okay, Karyn may be right about that. There's something going on there. But the fact that this hearing, which people have been talking about for years, finally happened on the same day that Hunter was getting spanked in court, there are some people also saying, here's a shiny ball over here. I just want to put that on the table as well.
No, and absolutely. And it does seem that way, because the focus should have been, and I think largely for many news organizations, was Hunter Biden. He was the big fish, and I think that UFO hearing kind of went by the wayside. What's interesting, though, is that there were about 3 people who testified there. 2 of them were pilots who actually said that they saw some of these UAPs, as they're called, and that they were floating, and that one guy even said that, one of them came from space, that they were told it came from like 80,000 feet, which is space, he said. So it was very interesting. It was a rabbit hole, but unfortunately, a rabbit hole I chose not to go down because of Hunter.
Well,
I balanced both. I was able to catch up, Terrance. I was very engaged in both yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well as shopping, you said.
as well as shopping.
So you did
all
shopping
3. That's talent.
Okay, yeah.
Well, there was a big, hefty bill at the dollar store.
There was.
All right, I won't say
Dollar
anything
Tree
else.
yesterday.
It's the $1.25 store now, thank you.
It is. This is true. But worth every penny. There's a lot of things you can get there that you're saving a lot of money. I probably saved like $400 last year.
Wait, so that's your job.
Seriously.
I spend this and I save $400.
Exactly.
You really, but you spent a lot. Okay. So Karyn was ahead of the curve. So was Donald Trump. Real quick. A lot of people resurfaced this tweet from 2014. Donald J. Trump, I hope we never find life on other planets, because there's no doubt the U.S. government will start sending them money.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Trump was right. That's next.
That's hilarious.
There's
so
going to be
true.
reparations for aliens.
There you go.
There you go. All right, let's get to Jesus Calling.
Let's do it. Hope is a golden cord connecting you to heaven. This cord helps you keep your head up high, even when multiple trials are buffeting you. I never leave your side. I never let go of your hand. But without a cord of hope, your head may slump and your feet may shuffle as you journey uphill with me. Hope lifts your perspective from your weary feet to the glorious view that you can see from the high road. You're reminded that the road we're traveling together is ultimately a highway to heaven. When you consider this radiant destination, the roughness or smoothness of the road ahead becomes much less significant. I am training you to hold in your heart in dual focus my continual presence and the hope of heaven. And this comes from Romans 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer.
Absolutely beautiful. Terrance, why don't you grab a couple of headlines, my friend?
All right, guys. The judge over the Hunter Biden plea deal case rejects the plea deal, meaning a trial could be in Hunter Biden's future after the first son pleaded not guilty to the tax and gun charges against him. This was Hunter leaving the Wilmington, Delaware courthouse Wednesday afternoon. The judge is refusing to accept that agreement because she questions the constitutionality of the pretrial diversion part of the deal related to the federal gun charge. During Wednesday's hearing, we also learned that federal prosecutors are investigating Hunter for other potential crimes, meaning even more charges could be filed against him. Even before the judge struck down the deal, though, prosecutors in the defense revised that deal to cover tax offenses from 2014 to 2019, as well as drug use and gun possession charges. However, that deal wouldn't have shielded the first son from potential future charges. Now to an update on that crane that crashed to the ground in New York. The latest number of people injured is standing at 6 after the construction crane caught fire and crashed into a nearby building before its arm came off and plummeted onto the sidewalk below. All of this happened during the morning rush hour Wednesday as people were walking below and cars and buses drove nearby. The good news is no one was killed here. The fire started in the engine compartment of the crane about 54 stories up. The crane operator reportedly tried to put the blaze out, but couldn't. The arm itself was carrying a 16-ton load of concrete when it snapped and hurled to the ground. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now let's get you back to Ed and Karyn.
All right, Terrance. By the way, real quick, I forgot to mention this. So whenever Jean-Pierre at the White House podium wants to, because I want to give credit to our viewers who keep mentioning this in the live chat, and they're right. Every time Jean-Pierre is asked about Hunter, well, he's a private citizen, he's not a government official, I can't comment, which is BS. But, well, yesterday he showed up in court with a motorcade, like not just one car, like multiple cars, Secret Service. I don't begrudge the children of presidents having Secret Service protection.
There was a lot of pomp and circumstance.
But a lot. And he's not really just a private citizen when you have a motorcade.
Right.
No, or you're selling paintings for $1 million. You're not a regular person at that point.
That's a very good point. When you have protection from the Secret Service, I don't know any private citizen that has protection from the Secret Service in the detail.
Yeah. And by the way, you remember that story about Hunter and the WhatsApp messages to the Chinese business folks and saying, get me the money, I'm in the room with my dad? We've now found photos of Hunter at his dad's house with some ladies in a Corvette, dad's Corvette, on the day of those WhatsApp messages. We'll show it to you right after a quick break.
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
If you would have told me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that I would be in the middle of a political movement, I would have said, put down Hunter's crack pipe. Right now.
Yeah, well, you better put down the crack pipe because there's a federal judge saying if you don't, you're going to be arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that he's actually going to violate this? I think he is.
He's under a lot of pressure right now, obviously. I mean, you saw him coming into the courtroom yesterday. I mean, it's amazing. He's finally facing some accountability. And now the left is saying, well, this is a Trump-nominated judge. This country right now, there's two tiers of justice. Who cares if it was nominated by Trump? Give this woman credit on her own that she could go and look at the facts and say whether you're a Democrat or a
person be treated. You know, just take it out of it. I mean, and I think that in light of everything that we know, everything this judge knows, can you imagine him getting anything lighter than this? It'd be illogical.
It would be. It absolutely would be. And yet Trump will be indicted a few more times because let's just keep piling more charges on. And it leads me to this video where I just think conservatives can be misunderstood. Watch.
Let's go, Brandon!
Really? Getting political at a children's game, nice.
What? My son's name is Brandon!
And Brandon with the hit!
Yeah! Let's go, Brandon!
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. Also, you.
He added an FJB at the end. Maybe that ruined it.
Yeah, maybe.
His son's name is Brandon.
Yeah.
Give him a break. He's rooting for him at a baseball game. The headlines are sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
Terrance, the man's kid, his name Brandon. He's trying to
His
root
name
him
is
on.
Brandon. Let the man cheer his son on. Doesn't matter if
He looked like Mike Lindell.
He did with the mustache. That or Mario from Mario Kart. Absolutely hilarious. All right, guys, let's get to this morning's headlines. The judge's ruling in the Hunter Biden case has the political world buzzing this morning. The reaction from the right is largely, well, it's about time. In case you happen to miss it, what was supposed to be a routine hearing for Hunter Biden to accept the plea agreement and the judge rubber stamping it turned out to be just the opposite. It ended with the judge saying that she can't accept the deal and the first son pleading not guilty to tax charges even after admitting in court that he knew he didn't pay his taxes. Then there's the issue of the entire Hunter Biden investigation being slow-walked for what appear to be political reasons.
This is an absolute corrupt DOJ that's politicized, that is one standard for Democrats, a different standard for Republicans, and thankfully we had a judge that is asking some questions about, I don't see how this is a reasonable deal given the facts, the circumstances, and the evidence.
Meantime, the White House is spinning the story saying first son Hunter Biden is a private citizen and the legal challenges are a personal matter for him. The White House press secretary also adding that the case is being handled independently by the Justice Department, which of course many on the right believe has been corrupted. Aliens are real and they've landed on Earth. That's one of the headlines out of Wednesday's congressional hearing on UFOs, which the government now calls Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon, or UAPs. 3 witnesses appeared before the House Oversight Committee's National Security Subcommittee and testified that the White House has withheld information about alien crafts for years. Here's one exchange, you may have seen it earlier, but if you missed it, involving Republican South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace as she went down a Karyn Turk-like rabbit hole.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
The controller told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space.
A bipartisan group of House lawmakers is calling for more information from the military and intelligence agencies about UAPs. They claim those same agencies have stonewalled them for years with a system of overclassification that's keeping reports of unexplained flying anomalous objects from the public. And Arizona remains under a deadly heat wave as the number of confirmed heat-related deaths just in Phoenix alone is now up to 25. Nearly 250 more deaths remain under investigation to determine if the extreme heat in that area is the culprit. The heat wave has seen average daytime highs of over 110 degrees and nighttime lows not dropping beyond 90 degrees. Maricopa County, which includes the city of Phoenix, is reporting 7 new heat-related deaths in the last 10 days. And during that same time last year, there were about 38 deaths associated with the heat. Deadly heat in Arizona. Crazy. Well, that's going to do it for your headlines. These headlines brought to you by AMAC.
All right, Terrance, stay right there. Let's go through a couple of these. So I teased this before the break. Remember those WhatsApp messages where Hunter said, I'm with the vice president, my dad, and you better wire us the money, Chinese man. Well, guess what? Fox, I believe. What, Chinese? Well, that's what he was saying. It was a CCP guy. Why you
better wire us some money, Chinese man.
Okay. I don't know his name. I want to show respect. So this is the day of those WhatsApp messages that someone's gone through the laptop, and Fox gets the credit. So there's Hunter in Dad's Corvette with two ladies there whose faces are blacked out. We don't know who they are, although Marjorie Taylor Greene may have some ideas who they might be. And there they are. That is the day that he allegedly sent the messages that I'm with my dad, and he happens to be in his dad's car at his dad's house. Karyn, what do you think?
He's so slimy. I don't really. He's just so gross.
But he's got a hat with an American flag on, so maybe he's trying to be a patriot after all this, even though he's shaking down the Chinese man, Terrance.
And let's not forget, there were classified documents in boxes right next to that Corvette. We don't know if they were there at that time. One would suspect they probably were. And so, again, it raises questions about who had access to the classified documents that were found in President Biden's garage. And these women very well may have. We don't know that to be fact, but it's a credible question.
Wait, are you trying to say those ladies did not have the proper security clearance?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
All right. You know how Joe Biden loves to take away guns, and he keeps going out there and saying, even if you're a law-abiding citizen, he wants to take your guns, right? And we talk about it all the time. So here's a reasonable question to Jean-Pierre yesterday. Does Joe Biden then, who wants to take guns from law-abiding citizens who are following the Second Amendment, if you improperly obtain a gun, should you be prosecuted to the full extent of the law? I mean, he wants to take away the guns of law-abiding citizens, right?
Yeah.
So what about someone like Hunter? Watch.
A firearm illegally should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So here, I'm going to be, I think I know where this question is going, and I'm just going to continue to say, as it relates to the case that we're seeing in Delaware, I'm just going to not speak to that.
We didn't even ask about that.
She is so smug. It was so smug. Like, I know what you're asking about. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Like a smarty pants attitude.
I agree, Terrance.
Yeah, that's what you call CYA. I know where you're going with this. I know I don't have a good answer for this, so I'm just not going to answer it. Plus, there's the whole idea of pot and kettles, yeah.
But hang on, even if that's where the reporter was going in a sly way, why can't we have a day where at the White House they say, if you break the law, you should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law? Not even using Hunter's name. But if someone illegally obtained a gun, even though I support the Second Amendment, yeah, I do think you should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But they don't prosecute people for breaking our immigration laws, Karyn. So why would they prosecute them for breaking the gun laws?
I mean, we would have a press secretary that actually would answer questions from the press.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I answer questions and not just go round and round.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, imagine that day. Look at this. When the media loves to shape narratives, this is NPR now saying on the right, this right-wing conspiracy theory about eating bugs is about as racist as you think. Somehow they're claiming it's racist if you claim they want you to eat bugs. And the person on the left was saying in his or her tweet that this is how the mainstream media shapes narrative. So if we come here and do a story saying they want us to eat bugs, we're actually racist. And then the person said, oh, that's what NPR says? Well, what has NPR said about bugs? So that's the next one, guys. And they put together a whole series of stories so there's the first one, Karyn. It's a right-wing conspiracy that we want to make you eat bugs. That's what the World Economic Forum wants, right? But the rest of the headlines, NPR, are insects the future of food? They're the ones who have put out there that we should eat bugs. Your ancestors probably ate insects, so what's bugging you? You see, they've been pushing the World Economic Forum message that we should eat bugs and less meat because the cows fart and all the rest of it and climate change. Right?
You're on a roll today. Go ahead.
He's on a roll, I know.
All right, maybe. So now we call it out, and the same news organization says, you're racist.
Racist.
Because it's fake. It's like a fake narrative. No, but you've been reporting that we should eat these bugs. So help me. I'm trying.
Because they just pull out the racist card. Just pull it. Just racist. And you say it, and then that just makes everybody quiet, makes them shut up.
We're in an era where I think people are starting to, and this includes news organizations, are just coming up with attention-grabbing stories and headlines that are going to grab people's attention without real substance behind it.
Oh, shocking.
Sorry,
Shocking. Everything's a tabloid now. NPR's a tabloid.
I'm just sending a WhatsApp to the Chinese man.
There you go, the Chinese man.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, our friend Karyn Ryan will have an outstanding story. I see her getting into place. I almost tricked her up there. There she is. She's got something about paper ballots in Georgia. That's important. And Ralph and no Chuck, though. So we had to go to the bullpen. Chuck's on vacation. Sean Lucas. Another real American voice.
There he is.
Looks like he just woke up. You got to shave, buddy. He's in New Jersey. Hey, it's National New Jersey Day.
Yes,
I didn't even realize
Day.
it. Right after a quick break. Yeah, high on a plane to Ukraine. Where have we heard that, Karyn?
Well, there won't be any more of that for Hunter, will there?
Well, there can't be, or there shouldn't be. Otherwise, this federal judge is coming down like a ton of bricks. So check it out, download and stream Cocaine, User's Prayer. In the meantime, you don't want that cocaine. You want twc.health/RAV, the wellness company. They're trying to fight for your medical freedom. You see on the left there, Dr. McCullough's healthy heart and muscle formula. I will say not pictured is the restful sleep formula. 2 nights ago, I didn't sleep well. Last night, I did take the restful sleep formula and slept like a baby. I got up every hour and cried. No, I slept through the night. You know how they say that about babies. I actually slept really well. I don't know if it was connected. I'm going to have to do it again. But I tried it last night, and it was great. So here's Dr. McCullough's Healthy Heart and Muscle Formula and the Spike Support, which I know you want to have.
Take right now.
So I did that earlier this morning. So make sure you go to twc.health/RAV and get that 10% discount on the big, beautiful supplements. All right, let's bring in our friend Karyn Ryan. You saw her getting ready to report something very, very important, which is in her home state of Georgia. Good morning and welcome back. They're talking about paper ballots, something that should be talked about all around this great country. Good morning, Karyn.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, so we know there's really virtually no path to the White House in 2024 without Georgia. So we got to make sure our elections are clean and secure, and the clock is ticking. So I've got some important updates for you out of the state of Georgia with regards to our elections. Let's start first, though, Ed, if I may, with a so-called voter roll cleanup that's being touted by our Rhino Secretary of State. Now, the state sent notices to 191,000 voters, gave them 30 days to respond, saying that they were essentially inactive. These are voters who were determined to be inactive after their mail was undeliverable or after they filled out a national change of address form and who have remained inactive for 2 general election cycles. In a press release, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger said, quote, Georgia's voter rolls are the cleanest in the nation, and list maintenance efforts like this ensures the integrity of our elections. But election integrity activists here in Georgia are saying that could not be further from the truth. Kim Brooks is a voter roll analyst in the Peach State who has been scrutinizing voter rolls for the last couple of years. She says this particular voter roll purge, while legally required and necessary, doesn't go nearly far enough.
190,000 is a drop in the bucket. And so it appears, so while we always like inactive voters to be cleaned off of the voter rolls, it appears to be more propaganda than anything. We'll take what he takes off the voter rolls, don't hear me wrong, but it's not a complete job.
So as an example, just this week, Brooks did an analysis of Gwinnett County, Georgia's second largest county. She says there are almost 20,000 names on that purge list, but she identified tens of thousands more who have not had contact with election officials and or who have not voted in an election since 2018 or before, who she argues should be on that purge list but aren't. Instead, they're still listed as active voters. And some of those voters haven't even had contact for nearly 20 years, going as far back as 2024, according to Brooks. She also says the other major problem this purge does not address is what she calls phantom voters.
What we're finding that I would like to ask Mr. Raffensperger is why are we bringing dead people back and reissuing them on the voter rolls? And why are we reissuing felons that never get to be automatically reissued? And we've done some research and found they're still sitting in jail. Yet our Secretary of State voter rolls is suggesting that they are at a new address. And we're knocking on those doors, and those felons don't live there. They're in jail. But we have about 5 categories of voters that should be in canceled status that are being brought back as phantoms on our voter rolls. So to sum it up, the 190,000 makes a really nice press release, but our voter rolls are so pathetically manipulated in Georgia. We have so many stories to share with your viewers.
So Kim Brooks and her team doing some phenomenal work as they work to collect more evidence on those phantom voters. We'll be sure to bring those stories to you guys. But one other quick and significant note with regard to paper ballots, Ed, that you mentioned off the top, there's a massive grassroots initiative here in Georgia to try to get counties and or state legislature to go to hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots in Georgia. Well, we just had a county here in Georgia this week, Spalding County, actually vote to hand count ballots in conjunction with the count that the machine does. They're going to compare those 2 counts on election night. If they don't match, they won't certify. So it's a step in the right direction. We're seeing that county take that move. It's the first county in Georgia to do it. A lot of people thinking that other red counties now will follow suit. So we've got some momentum here in Georgia.
There you go. Let's keep that momentum up.
Yes, step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Thanks for your reporting, Carolyn. Appreciate you as always. In the meantime, let's get some live reaction from some real American voices. Normally you hear from Ralph and Chuck. Chuck's on vacation. He's got a well-deserved day off. So we're going to bring in Sean Lucas, our friend from New Jersey, a real American voice, always in the live chat on Getter. Good morning. And our friend Ralph is here on set.
Good morning.
You got a new friend.
Good morning, Sean.
Good
morning,
Happy
Ralph.
Jersey Day.
Yeah, Jersey Day. It's a day they're going to give us more taxes, I believe.
Yeah, probably.
That's what Phil Murphy would do. How will you celebrate National New Jersey Day? Because you New Jersey folks, you, Karen, and others can be quite tough. So what do you do? Is it just a slice of pizza? What might you do?
Well, we have great pizza here, and there's a place near me in Robbinsville called Di Lorenzo's Tomato Pies. I think we're going to get good Di Lorenzo's tomato pie tonight. I'll send you guys
I like to hear
pictures.
it. Yeah, can you FedEx some to us? They freeze those things now. We'll talk off air. Yeah.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
Not the same.
All right, let's get serious. You've actually been working in New Jersey. We've played some videos of cleaning up these voter rolls. You feel like you're making progress? Because I remember you showed us a video, and then we interviewed one of the locals who's been calling it out. And in New Jersey, which has been blue, Democrat, and they raise your taxes, as you say, again and again, there's all kinds of dead people on those rolls. There's people who don't really live at the addresses. Are you making progress?
I don't know if we're making progress, but there's a lot of people trying to do a lot of stuff. We had a program here with Scott Pressler, do voting registration. There's a lot of people for voter integrity acts that are working. So a lot of people are doing a hard fight, and hopefully we get it cleaned up. It was the governor election was close last time, which it should have been won by the Republican, but it wasn't. But hopefully we get some progress here with that.
Yeah, Murphy, the Democrat, was down all night, Ralph, there in Jersey, and then they found all these ballots, and all of a sudden the Republican lost at the last minute. What are your thoughts, big picture?
My problem with this voter roll thing is any fraudulent vote that won through in 22 or 20 is an active voter. So that person is still on the voter roll. If it was a fraud vote and it won through, well, that's a voter. He's on the voter roll. You want to stop it? Precinct voting. A phantom voter cannot show up at his precinct with an ID. That's how you stop it. Precinct voting in person with ID, period.
I'd like to hear that.
It that way.
Let me put up on the screen. Let's talk about Joe Biden. We can talk about Hunter as well. But C-14, guys, this is in Russia right now. Russia dementia care facilities, you can see an ad on the side of a bus stop, are using Biden in their ad. So you might call it our daily Biden, Karyn. But Russia is laughing at us, guys. And this might be unrelated, I think, or maybe not. The president himself weighing in on mental disorders. Watch.
I don't know what the difference between breaking your arm and having a mental breakdown is.
Yeah, breaking your arm or having a mental breakdown. Russia's laughing at us.
I think the whole world is laughing at us, and in fact, everybody knows it. And Biden is a useless bag of oatmeal or something that Dan Bongino calls him. But, he's going to resign. Everybody's talking about it. Jim Hoff said it last week on the Gateway Pundit. I heard it first on this show a year ago in Las Vegas when you interviewed Wayne Allen Root.
Yeah.
Said Biden will resign before the election.
He was talking about Newsom or somebody. I have to say I'm skeptical, though. I mean, I hear you, but, Karyn, we've talked about this for a year or more, and Biden's still there. They think he's a useful idiot.
I thought he would be gone a long, long time ago, but they've just proven that they just outright don't care. I mean, those posters just illustrate exactly. The world is laughing at us.
Yeah, Sean, your quick thought.
Hey, with no challenge, they could care less. It's right in our face. They don't care. I don't think Biden's going to be a nominee when it comes time to run again, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
They can't run him. If he wins, it only validates the fact that they're stealing elections, and it'll be right in our face.
But would they care?
We already know.
They maybe stole an election last time, so why would they care, Ralph?
I think only 60% no. I think at that point, maybe 85%
the rest of the world would be awake?
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, let me put up a picture for Sean Lucas of Joe Biden's America. And Karyn says she likes squirrels. She talks to squirrels. Alabama man, 35, is charged with illegally owning an attack squirrel that he fed meth to and called D's Nuts. That was the name of the squirrel. Sean?
That's funny. That's funny.
All right. I'll take it. Funny. People haven't laughed at my jokes recently, Ralph, but now they do.
I want to see the video of the attacked squirrel on cocaine. I'm like,
oh, now we're going to cocaine. What was meth?
Same thing?
I don't know. There's a lot going on in Joe Biden's America. That's all I know.
That's for sure.
Sean Lucas, we appreciate you pinch hitting for Chuck. Happy National New Jersey Day.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
All right, you too. Ralph, thanks for coming in. Happy National New Jersey Day.
Yes, and you know what? People in the chat talking about Di Lorenzo's that he brought up, saying it's a great pizza.
Have you been there or no?
I have not.
All right, well, we'll have to get one of these days. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk about Stay Awake, Not Woke, sponsored by Beer Bay.
81 million votes my ass. Hey, 81 million votes my ass. You failed, bitch.
Yeah, you gotta love that, huh? Good beat. Download and stream that, mailmanmediamusic.com. Real quick, I want to bring in Terrance because we got a special announcement. Have you heard about this new co-host? Let's put it up.
Oh.
There you go. The
alien. Wow. The alien.
It's out there.
It is out
I guess
there.
our folks in Denver
I
put
look
that
forward.
together. Is that supposed to be a depiction of you, or is that just like a? I think they're
Wait,
just.
you think that's me?
Well, I don't know. Are they saying there's a fourth co-host, or are they?
I don't know.
I thought it was an homage to you.
This alien has 4 legs, number one.
Okay,
so
sorry, I haven't
this is sort of
counted.
an alien depiction of me.
I didn't suggest it was a depiction. I just thought it was an homage to you. But Terrance, please.
Maybe
I was just going to say, and here I thought I was starting something new by wearing green this week, and only to find out that we're now getting a green co-host to add it to the show. Okay.
There you go. By the way, in the live chat, Firefly, speaking of pizza, New Jersey, I would still vote New York, New Jersey, but you're a Chicago guy. Firefly, Lou Malnati's. Great pizza place.
Huh, okay. Where is it in New Jersey? Any idea?
No, Chicago.
Lou Malnati's. Okay, I thought you were talking about some place called Lou Malnati's.
I was like, wait, are you
Lou
really from
Malnati's
Chicago? You don't know?
Yes,
I must have mispronounced it. My apologies. Yeah, come on, Lou.
I got you. I'm a huge fan. Pizza should be eaten with a knife and fork, not with your hands. You should have to cut it. It should be deep dish. Yeah, it should be a full meal, just one slice. Go ahead.
Karyn will be the deciding vote. Knife and fork with pizza or no?
Well,
man, that's not fair. Both of you guys are East Coasters. New York, New Jersey, pizza might as well be the same thing.
It's National New Jersey Day. Let her speak.
Well, and you know what? I like a New Jersey style pizza. I don't like a deep dish pizza, but I do use a fork because sometimes I take the cheese off, so I only need half the bread on the pizza.
Sometimes it's like there's a bread. It's like some alien has ripped through a pizza and left all the bread.
You take the cheese off. Yeah, you leave the bread.
All right. Let's get to Stay Awake, Not Woke. Yeah, this is where we expose the woke agenda. It's sponsored by Beard Vet, simply the best coffee. And guess what? Colin did his job today. He's all over it. He was working hard last night on the rundown, by the way, and did a great job. So we appreciate that, Colin. But there's Beard Vet, trying to make America energy independent, because we're not under Joe Biden. But in all seriousness, they got a new energy drink. You pop a couple shots of that in water or club soda or whatever you want. It's delicious.
I think our team has been more productive. I think the rundown, everything. I think it's the Beard Vet.
Josh and the whole team in Denver are doing a great job. Maybe the Beard Vet. I know Josh was trying to get some coffee. Have they sent that coffee to you yet, Josh? Or I'm going to bug Sean George. Oh, great. They haven't. I gave him your address. All right, we're working on that. We're going to have to follow up. In the meantime, let's look at this Daily Mail story when you talk about the woke agenda. Trans surgery nightmares, Aaron. 81% endure pain in the 5 years after gender change procedures. You know, they call it gender affirming. Gender affirming. No. It's a gender change, and it's actually really painful. More than half say having sex is painful. They talk about, all kinds of stuff we don't even want to get into details about. Their groin, the pelvis, the chest. They're cutting off breasts. They're cutting off organs. People are in pain for years after this. And in all seriousness, it's not just about the organ. Shoulder pain, because you're changing your anatomy, you're changing the body. And they don't tell kids about any of this, or adults probably either, because it's not just kids.
But isn't some of it common sense? I mean, if you're ripping pieces of your body off, isn't that common sense that you should go into it with the understanding this is very serious? And,
for an adult, yeah. What about a 13-year-old kid? You think they understand?
I think they need to understand it. I think
Absolutely.
We need to take our kids and homeschool them and lock them in in their house with you, and not let them out, and I don't know, and not let them have phones. I don't know.
Sounds like a mama bear. No phone. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Karen, I fully agree with you. It seems like it's common sense, and I kind of said as you were reading all this, how would you not expect it to be painful? It technically is unnatural. You are changing the natural state of your body. You're altering the natural state of your body.
It's funny. I hear what you're both saying, but I actually disagree with both of you. You've got Rachel Levine in the Biden administration doing these interviews saying, this is gender affirming, this is great for people. And yes, it is common sense, but they're not telling people the whole story is all I'm saying. I'm not fighting with them. I'm just saying, they make it out to be this is an affirming moment for you, and they leave out, oh, by the way, you're going to be in horrible pain for the next 5 years. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I just think, again, common sense reveals itself in the fact that you're cutting off your private parts in the man's case. Wouldn't that be something you would know was going to be extremely painful?
Oh yeah, you would know that.
Yeah, the thought alone is painful to most guys. So yeah, really.
All right, let's move forward to some real American voices.
Am I lying?
No, you ain't lying. That man ain't lying. Crooked Joe didn't say he was not involved in Hunter's business dealings. He said there's no evidence. So we played a clip. Now, he has other times said he wasn't involved in the business deals. But there was one clip we played, and a lot of viewers sent me that note. And they said, did you notice that he said there's no evidence that I was involved in the business dealings, Terrance? And that was in the 2020 campaign.
Well, there wasn't back then?
Bingo.
Oh,
and now in a Delaware courtroom, there might be. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just going to say Monday, we're expected to get that evidence. There's going to be a big hearing on Capitol Hill in which one of Hunter Biden's business partners will be testifying. Devin Archer, exactly. He's going to testify, or expected to testify, that he was in the room, that he witnessed Joe Biden be part of some of these business calls. So the evidence is coming.
All right. Well, guess what? We got more evidence for you. It turns out that Bill Gates was talking about depopulation back in 2011 as we go down the rabbit hole with Karen. And we also bring in a special guest. We had her a couple weeks ago. Her name is Ora Nadrich, and she's going to talk about the vaccines